I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive.
'2020 Kia Stinger GT 20th Anniversary Edition.
2019 Volkswagen Golf R. And they're very comparable because they're all-wheel drive hatchbacks, right?
Yep.
So we've got the DSG Golf R because the Kia Stinger only comes in automatic, and we wanted to make this fair.
And on top of that, it actually makes the pricing very, very similar as well.
So right around 50 grand Canadian.
Yep. All in with these colors and these options.
So I guess we'll start with horsepower and torque.
The Kia Stinger has 365 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque from a 3.3 liter twin-turbo V6.
And the Golf R has 288 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque from a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder.
And that's actually down in power from the previous year. Huh, a little weird.
Yeah, I don't understand these numbers, but whatever. Which one's faster? That's all that matters.
Actually, they're both pretty much identical. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is 4.9 seconds for the Stinger and 4.8 seconds for the Golf R. However, they feel very different.
So they both have launch control, and for the Golf R, you need to have it in sport mode, traction off, hold the brake, floor the gas, and then it launches pretty hard.
And the Golf R actually launches harder because it revs at 4,000 and it's a 7-speed dual clutch, so it's able to hold the revs and launch really, really hard. The Kia Stinger is an auto 8-speed ZF and it shifts really, really quickly, but it doesn't actually build boost.
Well, technically it builds like 1 to 2 pounds of boost sometimes.
Yeah, that barely counts. But anyways, the launch feel of the Stinger is not as good as the Golf R.
But when you let off the brake, I feel like the Stinger hooks up sooner because it doesn't have to deal with a dual clutch.
Yeah, so once you're off the line, this thing is definitely faster, but once you reach 100, they're pretty much the same speed anyways.
So for launching it, it's pretty much a real world tie.
For launching it, yes, because whoever gets the launch basically wins. However, when you're flooring it and you're kind of beside each other, there's actually a big difference there too.
Yeah, the Kia Stinger almost always wins because the Volkswagen Golf R takes so much time to get into the right gear.
Yeah, so if you're just sitting in drive or in sport and you just mat it, the Kia Stinger will always win. And then even if you're in the right gear in both of them, the Kia Stinger will also win then too.
And before we keep going with this comparison, we know a lot of you guys watch without subscribing, so just hit the subscribe button.
So in the Kia Stinger, we've got an 8-speed ZF Auto, which shifts very quickly, not as quickly as the 7-speed DSG.
But it's a lot more fun to shift in the Stinger because you actually have nice paddles, unlike this Golf R.
Yeah, the paddle quality of the Stinger is actually top notch.
Like, it's better than everything Audi as well.
Oh, for sure it is. Even the RS models.
And like every comparison, we're gonna end off with handling through cliche corners, switching it up, and I think that's where we're gonna make our final decision. But let's get into some of the superficial stuff. Maybe the looks.
Yeah, so I should actually explain what the 20th anniversary is for the Kia Stinger.
Because it's been around for 20 years, right?
Kia has been around in Canada for 20 years, not the Stinger.
The Kia Sportage. It'll get your mojo going.
So this is a Canadian exclusive. You get the ghost gray paint with the red interior, you get special wheels, and then you get some red pinstriping on your interior mats, and that's it.
And those are just like standard options in the States, right?
Yeah, in the States, you can actually just get this paint with this red interior. It's not a special edition. You can't get these wheels though.
And then again, in the States, you can get a rear-wheel drive Stinger, which you can't in Canada yet.
Yeah, and you can also get a GTS with drift mode, which you can't in Canada yet either.
Wah, 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 wah.
It's disappointing, Kia. Come on, Kia Canada.
And on this Golf R, we're sporting 91 Blue, which is kind of Miami Blue from Porsche. And there's like over 40 different colors you can get on the Golf R for like 3,000 bucks extra.
Yeah, I tried to look up the paint codes. I'm convinced that that is Porsche's Miami Blue, but they can't call it that because Porsche people would get upset.
Yeah, and when you order this car to get it painted, they actually take it all apart, paint it in a different factory, and then bring it back to Volkswagen for assembly. So then which one looks better, the Stinger or the Golf R?
Overall, just like straight up, which one looks better?
Straight up, 3, 2, 1,
Stinger. Yeah, for sure.
But I think the Golf R may edge out the Stinger, or at least tie it, because of all the extra color options. Like, that's some next level availability.
That is true. However, they have like pretty much no interior color options or anything like that. This has a bunch of interior color options.
So if we had to pick which one has the better headlights, I think they're both pretty equal. I think the Golf R has better.
I'll give them a tie on that. I think they're both pretty much the same.
How about taillights?
Taillights, I think the Stinger definitely wins.
But the Golf R is also very clean and nice.
What about the wheels?
Well, this Golf R does not have the cool wheels that I like from the one we reviewed last year.
Yeah, I agree. So I think the Stinger wheels are actually better. However, I like the regular Stinger GT wheels more than these wheels.
So what is the Continental recommended tire for the Volkswagen Golf R?
It's actually the tires that are on the car, the Conti Sport Contact 5P.
And how about the Continental recommended tire for the Kia Stinger?
The Conti Sport Contact 5.
And then how about overall shape? Because this is more of a hatchback and that's more of a sport sedan kind of thing.
Well, this is a Sportback, so overall shape, it kind of just depends on if you want a hatch-looking thing or a sedan-looking thing.
And how about you? What do you want?
I want the sedan-looking thing.
I also do. Okay, so let's get into the exhaust tips.
Yeah, so one of these has kind of real, but the other one has really real.
So the Golf R has like 2006 real exhaust tips, which look amazing.
Which is a compliment, by the way. And the Kia Stinger has kind of a real exhaust, they're just separated from the tips.
But they put that backing so you can't see the muffler through it, so I think that's a 2019 pass.
Yeah, that's a full pass.
Speaking of full pass, should we switch drivers and get into some of the tests we do?
Sounds good. I'll see you at the visor test in this car.
3, 2, 1, pass.
Pass!
Does
We
yours
already
cover
knew that.
all the way to the end?
Almost, but
Mine
I'm still
is-
going to give that a pass.
Mine's all the way, so it passes a little more. And then for a small cup, they both fit perfectly fine.
And now for the box test. We've already box tested both of these, so we're going to do this one a little bit differently. We're going to do a trunk with the seats up and trunk with the seats down. Stinger 9 with the seats down. Golf R, seats down, also 9 boxes. Stinger has 3 with the seats up, plus 2 lids. Golf R, seats up, technically 2 boxes, but if we give this one a shove, it's 3, plus 2 lids.
Genuinely surprised I fit 3 boxes in the back of that Golf R, but realistically, the Stinger's got so much more room.
It realistically does. It's just the shape of the boxes, which is why we do the box test.
But maybe we should have used liters for this. I'm kidding. Liters are dead to me.
Yeah, gallons? But gallons of legroom? Like, what is this?
Gallons of freedom. So starting off with interiors, the most important thing, do both cars have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto?
Both of these do, and they function perfectly well.
Next thing, volume knob and tuning knob. Do you have both in the Volkswagen Golf R?
I do, however, my volume knob still rotates.
Okay, and then I've got volume knob, tuning knob, but I've got hard buttons for all my infotainment stuff. How about the Golf R?
No, it's pretty much all touchscreen, and there's touch buttons on the sides.
But what's nice is in both cars, if you click app, you'll go to your Apple CarPlay Android Auto, and if I click my star, I'll go to my Apple CarPlay Android Auto. So they're both very good functionality-wise.
Yeah, I've got no issues with functionality in either one. However, only one of them rewinds satellite radio, and that is not the Golf R.
The Kia Stinger, but it doesn't have tune mix yet, so like whatever.
And it's actually been a while since we've driven the Kia Stinger, so when I got in there, I noticed the tuning knob just changed through satellite radio stations so slowly.
Oh, it did. Like if you give it one of those like full pulls like we did in the Toyotas, man, this thing did not do anything at all.
Yeah, so that was a little frustrating, but not the worst.
Toyota. Did I say it right? If I didn't say it right, Toyota.
Yeah, he tends to say Toyota for some reason. We're working on it.
And sticking with the infotainment screen, let's talk about our reverse and 360 cameras. So the Stinger has, I think, the best 360 camera system in the world because you can see the front tire, the rear tire, everything. It's super easy to use. How about your 360 camera in the Golf R?
I cannot discuss my 360 camera because I don't have one. I do have a reverse camera, which is nice because it pops out of the Volkswagen symbol, so it's always clean in the winter.
Yeah, and it looks really cool when it pops up.
So let's talk about these gauges. I have a full digital display in the Golf R, and they're really nice.
And then I've got the analog tacks on the side and then digital in the middle. Which one do you think's better?
I think they're both good. I do like the analog in the Stinger, and the Golf R just works too, so I'm good with either.
I think I prefer the Kia Stinger gauges a little bit more just because it's a little harder to navigate through all the menus in the Golf R. And you get cool graphics in the Stinger too. And we've got a head-up display, which you do not have. And in my head-up display, I even have blind spot monitoring, which is amazing. You've got blind spot monitoring too, right?
Yeah, my eyes.
Okay, but you have it in the car as well, right?
Yeah, I actually do. There is blind spot monitoring here, so it does work.
But you probably don't need it as badly as I do because I don't have much visibility out my back window.
Yeah, the Stinger has very poor interior visibility compared to the Golf R. It's still livable, just compared to this is just a much bigger open space.
a larger green space, as they put it.
Is it a green space or is it?
I think inside with windows is considered green space or something. I think that's
no,
that's one of the
greenhouse. Greenhouse.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Buzzwords, man. We're trying our best.
Whatever. On center feel.
Yeah. Playful. And both cars have nice flat bottom steering wheels that have no issues with them at all.
Yeah, they're not too thick. They're just right. The Golf R has a little bit of gloss black on it, which I don't like, but whatever. It's passable.
Yeah, so does the Stinger GT at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. So, tie there.
But I guess talking about steering, our lane keep assist.
Yeah, so the Golf R does have lane keep assist, but it's definitely not as good as the Stingers.
No, the Stingers is absolutely fantastic. This thing was a dream in traffic. Not as nice as the Palisade or the Telluride, but it'll get there one day, I think.
But they both do have adaptive cruise as well, so if you're driving in traffic, both of these will be just fine.
So how about seats?
I would love to talk about the seats, but I want to start with your seats because they're red and they look so good.
Yeah, I love the look of a red interior.
They even have adjustable bolstering, so you can actually customize that with your buttons on the side. And then they also have memory seats, which my Golf R does not have.
Does your Golf R have heated and cooled seats as well?
It has heated only.
Oh, not cooled, eh?
No, and neither is the steering wheel. It's not heated.
Oh, bummer.
And the Golf R also does not have adjustable bolsters, but it does have adjustable lumbar.
For comfort, they're pretty much even, but it's nicer to have all the extra goodies in the Stinger.
I'm really comfortable in the Golf R. However, I prefer the seating position and everything about driving the Stinger from sitting there because the driving position is a lot lower.
I've got another one for you. Do you have a compartment where your phone fits nicely?
I do actually, in the Golf R.
Okay, in the Kia Stinger, we've got a wireless charging pad, which the Golf R doesn't have, but if you've got your cable plugged in for CarPlay or Android Auto, it doesn't fit in that compartment anymore.
Yeah, because it doesn't have wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, so you do have to have the cable plugged in, and then it's at like this really awkward angle.
Yeah, like, come on, like a little bit more, 1 centimeter.
And I also put my phone in the cup holder of the Kia Stinger, and then it was like bashing against the actual middle part of it, so yeah.
And then how about back seat room? Because I fit comfortably in both at 5'8.5".
Okay, so this one's a really interesting one. So you brought up this factor called tow room. So I sat in the Kia Stinger and I actually didn't have a lot of tow room because there's a lot of extra carpeting under the front seats. However, I have a lot more leg room in the Kia Stinger, but I lack headroom in the Kia Stinger. And in the Golf R, I'm just comfortable all around, but I have less leg room than in the Kia Stinger.
So if you had to sit in the back of one behind yourself, which one would it be?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. I think I would actually have to pick the Golf R.
Would the heated back seats in the Stinger help you decide your decision or no?
Perhaps, maybe in the winter, but I just don't have much headroom in that.
Okay, and now the last thing we got to talk about is the door locks and convenience stuff but we have a little click button that you have to click to unlock the door on the Kia Stinger.
Yeah, that's actually been bothering me a lot in the Stinger, and the Golf R has proximity, so you actually just reach your hand into the handle and unlock it, and then you just tap it to lock it.
But what's amazing about the Stinger is when you lock it, the mirrors fold in. Like, that's our favorite feature, I think.
And when you walk up to the Stinger, it also unfolds the mirrors, and at night you see a little bit of light as well. So I think that gets the win, but it's just really frustrating having to press that stupid little black button.
But you don't have to press anything when you walk up to the trunk. It'll automatically open if you just stand there for a couple seconds.
That's true, because that is a Sportback, and this has none of that stuff. You gotta manually open it, you gotta manually close it.
So I guess let's get into drive modes, finish that up, and then head over to Cliche Corner to make our decision.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the drive modes in the Golf R. So if you hit our mode selector, we've got Eco, Comfort, Normal, Race, and Custom. I have been driving this pretty much exclusively in race because it doesn't really feel like a real race mode. It's not over the top in any way. The suspension is still nice and soft, and it also changes the active sound management.
Okay, and in the Kia Stinger, we've got Smart, Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Custom. And you pretty much just got to keep it in Sport. But the only thing that sucks is the Stinger won't start in Sport mode where the Golf R will.
Yeah, and that actually bothered me a lot in the Stinger, like way more than I thought it would, because I would always have to dial it over to Sport once I started, and then I would also have to turn off the auto start stop because I find it really annoying in the Stinger, and the version in the Golf R is just, it's really nice. It's not like that intrusive.
And then for turning all of the traction off, super easy. You hold the button and then it'll go through one and then the other, and then you can use your launch control.
Yeah, but both of them aren't like fully off because we have driven the Golf R on the ice in the winter. We tested the 4Motion system and it was always kind of on.
Yeah, and especially not having a manual e-brake like the GTI totally sucks. And I guess, yeah, they both have electric e-brakes.
Yeah, and we haven't actually driven the Kia Stinger in anger driving around in donuts, but we have driven the G70 in the winter, and that was still kind of on.
But it was really fun in the winter, like really fun.
it was still really fun, and I would say it was more fun than this.
I would agree. So technically, would this be able to do a burnout if I just stay in launch control and wet the back tires?
Technically it would. So we've already talked about the exhaust tips, we've already talked about the active sound management. Let's talk about how all that works and how both of these sound.
Okay, so they're pumped in audio. If you downshift and you've got enhanced on, you can hear it. But you can turn it off in the settings under active engine sound, and I prefer to have it off because I kind of don't like the fake sounds in the Stinger.
So now I'm gonna floor the Golf R in race mode. Kind of sounds like a Subaru, and I kind of like it.
It's so extra in the Golf R. I prefer without on both. I guess I'm just over it, but it does sound pretty decent for somebody who wants like a fast sounding car.
Yeah, to be honest, I wish both of these just had louder exhaust and you didn't need any of this fake pumped in stuff.
But there's no market for that anymore, man. This isn't 2002. Too Fast, Too Furious is long gone. On sale in the DVD rack. Come on, man.
It's so disappointing.
Okay, so let's head over to Cliche Corner, take a couple turns, see which one we like more, and come up with our final decision.
Now, race obviously is the stiffest mode, so what I have a problem with is the understeer. So if I send it into Cliche Corner, the front just kind of plows, and then the back end catches up, because this is a front-biased all-wheel drive system, whereas the Stinger has a rear-wheel biased. So if I send it and floor it, I can't really get the back end to come out, which isn't that fun, and it's a little bit disappointing, actually quite a bit disappointing.
I've got my traction control and my stability all the way off, which means it won't auto upshift for me. That's the only way to stop that from happening. Hopefully I can do some little bit of fishtailing through here. Okay, got the back end a little bit loose. The Stinger does feel like almost muscly.
And I'm in second and floor it, and it just auto upshifted for me. Like, I don't want it to upshift, which is so frustrating, which is almost kind of the reason that you have to get this in manual if you're gonna get the Golf R. And then if you're gonna get it in manual, I gotta think about manual Golf R versus automatic Stinger.
All right, back down to Cliche Corner. I think this is actually the more fun way. I definitely feel like I'm catching that R. Okay, yeah, this is a lot of fun.
And I've got everything off, I've got it in manual. There's no way to make it not auto upshift, which is pretty frustrating. It's such a simple oversight, especially when you're in race mode. Like, if you're in race mode, you're in race mode. You're not in normal mode, you're not in sport, you're in race. No automatic. Ugh!
I don't know if I'll have as much fun in the Golf R. It may be quicker, maybe snappier, but I don't know if it'll be more fun. A little oversteer. I was actually having a lot of fun.
I wasn't having that much fun.
You know, I think I forgot to go fast because I knew I could have fun.
Oh.
So I'm excited to try to go fast in that now.
I'm excited to go faster than that and more sideways.
I think this does feel snappier. Do you know what I mean? Like hot hatch, little zippy.
It feels very rear biased. These are both all-wheel drive, but the Stinger's definitely more rear biased than the Golf R, like way more. You can feel it sending way more torque to the back wheels, which I believe is about 80% to the back, up to.
So I don't think I'll get this to oversteer, but if I can stay on Jacob's tail, I'll be happy. Definitely no oversteer. This feels more like a precision car. But I don't mind it. Like, if it was manual, I'd probably like it more than the Stinger, to be honest. Because in winter, that's where you get your little kicks with your little slides. And I'm fine with that, because that Stinger doesn't even have drift mode.
For the size of the Kia Stinger, it actually does hide its weight pretty well. It definitely feels heavier than the Golf R. The Golf R is definitely a little bit more tossable, but this one still ends up being more fun because I can do this. Get a little bit sideways.
Tire squeal and plow. But when you are going fast, that pumped-in audio is pretty nice. It does make it feel more racy.
For an all-wheel drive system, this is so fun. It's not as good as BMW system, but it's still, it's fantastic to drive. I am in love with this, and I think I have officially made up my mind.
All right, Jacob, that was a lot of fun, but I'm conflicted. Because
Really?
The Stinger was a lot of fun. It felt more drifty and everything, but the Golf R felt more precise. Like, if I was trying to be fast and hold a line, I would want this.
I completely disagree. I think I'm able to hold a better line with this. This does feel heavier, but I'm able to put it where I want it because it's more rear biased.
And I feel like, maybe I just like front wheel drive after all that Veloster, because this is a front biased car. But I think because of all the amenities, because of the cool factor, I would have to take the Stinger. But if I was so graciously allowed to take the Golf R in manual, I would definitely take it over the Stinger GT.
Auto versus auto, I would definitely go Stinger. Manual Golf R, I think I still have to go Stinger.
Oh, okay, well, I'm actually, am I surprised? I don't even know.
It's just not that much more fun for me in manual. A manual GTI, I think, is more fun than a manual Golf R.
Okay, but now let's get to the price. Like, is the price difference worth the choice?
The Golf R starts at $43,895 for the DSG, and it sits at $49,050 with that custom paint. The Kia Stinger GT 20th anniversary is $51,495, but you can get the Limited, which doesn't have this exact option package, but is very close, for $49,995.
Canadian. So say I got this Golf R in manual with that regular Golf R Blue that doesn't cost any extra. How much would that cost?
You would actually be saving yourself $4,400.
Okay, well then that's kind of a big difference between the Stinger. But auto to auto, I think I need to still pick the Stinger.
Yeah, so do I, so there you go.
But you had an interesting point about the Golf R and the Stinger.
Okay, so these are actually both very interesting cars because you have to explain them to people. I bought a Kia Stinger. Oh, you have a Kia. Yeah, but it's the fast one. Same with the Golf R. Oh, you got a Golf? No, but it's the R, so it's the fast one with all-wheel drive. Oh yeah, Uncle Jimmy's got a Golf, except it says City beside it. No, it's not the same thing.
But it's like, it's cool to have the car that people don't know is cool. Like, it's sleeper cars. So let us know in the comments down below, DSG Golf R versus automatic Stinger, which one would you take?
And if you had the option of the manual, let us know what you'd take there as well.
Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Check out patreon.com/TheStraightPipes, join our YouTube membership, and check out our Teespring store.